like someone who has almost convinced themselves it wasn't real, but hasn't quite gotten there. Some roads aren't meant to be driven at night. Highway 101, Northern California coast. If you've been there during the day, you know how beautiful it is. But after dark, it's something else entirely. Long stretches with no lights, no other cars, no cell service. Just you, the road, and whatever's out there in the dark. I learned that the hard way. It was 2022. I'd spent the weekend at my parents' place up in Eureka. I left at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night. Stupid. I know that now. I should have stayed. Driven back Monday morning. But I had an early shift, and I told myself I'd be fine. Famous last words. The first 2 hours were fine. Then I hit the stretch near Trinidad, and that's when the fog came. Not normal coastal fog. Within 5 minutes, visibility dropped to 20 feet. 20 feet. In a car doing 35 miles an hour on a 2-lane mountain highway, with no guardrail, no shoulder, and a cliff somewhere off to the left. 20 feet is nothing. Here's what nobody tells you about fog that thick. It messes with your mind. You can't see landmarks. You can't judge distance. You lose all sense of how far you've come or how far you still have to go. It's disorienting in a way that's hard to describe until you've experienced it yourself. And I was already exhausted. That matters. Remember that. I'd been crawling through the fog for about 30 minutes when I saw something on the shoulder of the road. A shape. Just a shape in the dark. As I got closer, I could see it was a person. A man. Tall. Dark clothes. Standing completely still on the side of the road, facing the road directly. He wasn't waving me down. He wasn't on his phone. He wasn't walking. He was just standing there. I slowed down as I passed him. He didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't turn his head. Nothing. I looked at his face as I drove by. Ordinary. Nothing unusual. My first thought was, broken down car, waiting for a ride. Except, there was no car on the shoulder. No reason for him to be standing in that exact spot, facing that exact direction. There was nothing there. Something felt wrong, so I kept driving. 10 minutes later, I saw him again. Same build, same dark clothes, same stance. This time on the left side of the road. I said out loud, and I remember this clearly, "What the hell?" There was no way. I was the only car on that road. There were no cross streets, no shortcuts, no other path. This man could not have gotten ahead of me. The only rational explanation was that it was a different person who just happened to look exactly the same. I told myself that. I almost believed it. And then, as I passed him, he turned his head, slowly, and looked directly at me. I hit the gas. The fog thickened even more. I could barely see the center line. And then, my headlights lit up something in the middle of the road. A figure, standing directly in my path. I stopped. He was wearing a hood. I couldn't see his face. He didn't move. I flashed my high beams. Nothing. I shifted into reverse, and I looked in my rearview mirror. Someone was behind me, slowly walking toward my car. I screamed. I threw the car into drive, yanked the wheel hard to the right, and floored it, crossing into the opposite lane to get around the figure in the road. He didn't move an inch. I thought I was free, and then something hit my car. Hard. Not a tap. A violent, crushing impact from behind. The rear end swung out. I heard metal crunch. I checked my mirrors. Nothing. No car, no person, no figure. Nothing but fog. I drove until the fog broke. Didn't stop once. By the time I reached the interchange, I'd convinced myself it was a hallucination. 4 hours of driving. Exhaustion. Isolation. staring into nothing but white fog for miles. The human brain does strange things under that kind of strain. A hallucination felt possible. By the time I got home, I was almost at peace with it. And then I walked around to the back of my car. The rear bumper was destroyed. A dent almost the full width of the car. Deep. Real. No paint transfer, which means it wasn't another car. I filed a police report, for all the good it did. Over the years, I've tried to make sense of it. Maybe I hallucinated the figures, panicked, and hit a guardrail. Maybe a mile marker. Maybe something I never...